went to go pee. No one else did. Darby and I got a drink too.
Oh, I got a drink and peed, so
Oh,
I'm
you're good.
super fast.
Listen, at no charge, my friend Darby Mills, we are sending you one of these mugs.
Oh, sweet! Yay!
Yeah, it has a picture of Sean and I, and
I love it.
a clever avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, it was started out as an avatar, and then one of our good buddies, Dave drives Dave nuts when I say this, but he's now calling it the Seacrest Momoa Show. So it's kind of sticking. So anyway, factor in
Awesome.
good into reality TV and American.
Yeah. So I was going to ask a question before the little break there, and Sean and I had this argument a lot. So I'm kind of curious. Well, I'm going to even influence your decision. What's your thoughts on The Voice, American Idol type performances and performers? What's your thoughts?
My husband and I have been watching The Voice pretty much since the start. There's some incredibly talented young people. What a wonderful opportunity to, and as I spoke to this earlier, to all of a sudden be in the headlights with no experience, but fantastic talent. You're going to run into your problems with that. There's going to be problems no matter what you do. So whatever. I like the fact that the shows don't just say, okay, you got to be under 25 because nobody wants to listen to an old man or an old woman. I don't have a problem with the shows. And I think that what they go through, and this year was kind of weird with the COVID thing going on, but what they go, that's a whole experience. Just listen to Kelly Clarkson, who paid her dues in 2 different ways as a contestant, and then later pulling it off. And she didn't win, actually, did she? But I mean, what a wonderful experience. I don't hate it. I can't, if they just had a competition and only had to compete one day and then they picked a winner, then it'd be like, wow, come on. But what they got to go through, coming up, having to sing songs that someone else picks for you, like, what? That's, excuse me, you're making a whole lot of noise.
Well, somebody's passed out by Darby Mills.
He ran away. It's all good. So, yeah, I don't hate it. I really like America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't like it when they bring out the crappy artists. Like, why do that? That's, everybody laughs, but that is somebody that we're laughing at. That kind of bugs me a little bit, but yeah, it's that new world thing, right? It's the new now. This is what we're doing now. So either get on or be left behind.
Right on.
So I'll be auditioning next week.
I will tell you, I was not a believer, though. I'm a huge Kelly Clarkson fan. I think, to me, whatever she does, she's a super talent. I was doing the old geeking through YouTube there, I think it was last weekend, and I stumbled on this America's Got Talent episode. One of the judges had made fun of this 15-year-old kid who was kind of a little overweight and whatever. Anyway, the kid comes up, he's in tears, and he's basically saying, I'm going to show you, and he sings Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. I had tears streaming down my face, and I was just, that stuff is very cool when it happens, because, the guy, like, the lady from the UK that came out, and like nobody expected her to sing, she did. Yeah. That stuff, some of the stage stuff, not so much. That's just me.
Yeah, but it is what's happening. People get to tune in, especially now, although I prefer to see them in. How great is it to 10 songs in on The Voice anyway, be on a set that's nicer than anything I've ever performed on after 40 years. I mean, it does kind of help make the show feel a little bit grand. That's kind of cool. Good for them. As my oldest son has said, how many of them have actually done anything with their careers after? And it's like, you know what, that's up to them, and it's also up to the music industry on who wants to bite in and work with the artist, right? I mean, you can't do it alone. Whether you should be able to or not, I'm not stating that. I'm just saying not everybody can do the Justin Bieber thing and become a star before anybody touches you. The norm is you need money behind you.
But to your point, Darby, I mean, you look at Drake, a Canadian guy, you know, who's getting 1 million downloads a month and making 10 grand. You know what? Is that the measure of success now? I mean, I guess from our day, we all wanted to be practicing in our basement, have some guy knock on our door and say, hey, I heard you through your basement wall. You sound great. Sign here. You want to give you a record deal. That fucking doesn't happen anymore. There's no more record companies. So I don't even know how these things are funded. I mean, I know you want to talk about ZZ Top. I personally am not going to go pay in Halifax $160 to go see ZZ Top. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it to me to go see ZZ Top for $160. But that's how these poor buggers are getting paid now. There's no more record companies. How many times are going to download their video? I don't know. I mean, I don't understand how they're even getting paid anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So you do what? And if my ignorance shines through here, I do apologize in advance. The rap community figured that out years ago and came up with the brand yourself, make runners, make hats, make shirts. It was like genius. Of course, you don't have to, if you're going to have to give your music away for free, at least have people think having a part of you is as important as paying for your music. So hence the jewelry, kind of, sort of, right? But
DarbyMills.com, DarbyMills.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember when I used to rehearse in my basement, and Sean Kilbride, who was the drummer in Haywire, used to come over and watch us play, and all the girlfriends would have copies of that first album. Sean would go, oh, there's another 40 cents. Oh, there's another 40 cents. And you're sitting there doing the math and wow, like, you know, and that doesn't even happen anymore. Like, it's such a dog's breakfast to try to get money and make money in the business that way.
Yeah, well, and I have a worldwide distribution deal through True North and their affiliate. The downloads, I make some money. Am I going to retire on it? No. I make more money selling the CDs, the hard copies here off the website, and they were gracious, if I should use that word, enough to say absolutely continue to sell your hard copies, seeing as I paid for everything.
God bless.
Yeah, what the distribution deal does for an artist is it gets it to, I used to explain it this way. What a distribution deal is today, this entity takes my CD that's MIDI now, takes it to the back door of the store, puts it down, and drives away. The rest of the work is up to you to ring the doorbell. It's up to you to do the videos. It's up to you to promote and grab fans for me via Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two that I can manage. Whereas having a record deal, they actually ring the doorbell.
Right.
So that's the difference. I make a better income through selling my hard copies, and I don't sell them for cheap because, you know what, all in all, from start to finish, that's 200 grand I put into that thing. If you can't give me 20, 25 bucks for my CD, then, you know, it's okay, you don't have to buy it. But this is my life, this is my work, and this is what I charge for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know.
Sean and I are going to buy one.
Sorry.
We're sending you a mug for free, but we're going to buy your CD as well. I'm just going to tell you right up front.
I would love to send you guys a courtesy copy of, well, you tell me which one you want, either Flying Solo or the live CD that after putting the band together, there were a few venues that we called as an independent artist and being told, oh, we'd heard you'd lost your voice. That's why you were no longer in the Headpins. So it was like, oh, how do you fix that? Okay. How do you fix that? It's like, well, I got a band now. It just so happened Ron Obvious, who used to work at Little Mountain Studio, who then went over and spent, I think, 20 years at Bryan Adams' studio, was driving through town and gave us a call and said, hey, I'm recording now up on the island, and I also have a traveling recording unit. And it's like, bing. So how do you want to, we booked our own venue in Vancouver. the Russian hall and sold tickets and had him set up, hook into the board, and we recorded a live album going, if there's any way I can stop the rumors that I can't sing anymore, it's to go sing live and say, this was me yesterday. And
I would
so
love to hear you sing Piece of My Heart. I think that's on that live CD, is it? I don't know.
Yes, and
that's what I want. I want that one. I want that one.
Okay. All right. I do Natural Woman by Carole King, or I try to take Aretha's version and scream it up a little bit. And a lady called Kirsten Nash, who's renowned in her own right for many things, as well as being a painter, but she's started off as a saxophone player in the 80s, and she came in and sat in that night, and she plays a sax solo to intro Natural Woman that literally brings tears to my eyes.
Wow.
That it just worked. There's no edits. It's just like, holy crap, lady, like you nailed that. So I'm really proud of that as well. But yeah, it's a live album, and it's not perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect. I wanted people to understand that it was live. We weren't faking it. And put that out to quill any of the rumors that I had lost my voice. So, one foot, other foot in it, here and there and everywhere.
I'm going to ask you a dumb question, and it's back to the documentary again. Because I spent a lot of time, I think it's 20 some odd minutes, and I spent an hour just looking at it and watching it and whatever. So there was a part in there where you were getting ready to go on the stage, and I believe some lady came up to you, and I'm not a hugger at all. I mean,
I am.
But you went, you gave this lady a hug, made her day. I'm assuming, and I don't know if you're comfortable with that or not, but I'm assuming you get a lot of that when you're out doing your shows, like just people more or less saying, hey, thank you for getting me through high school, or thank you for, like, does that happen quite a bit?
I've even the last 10 years I was in the Headpins, I was at the merch table before I was in the dressing room after the show. It was, it became my job. I took it on, and I said, give me the merch. You don't want to do the merch anymore. Let me handle the merch. Give me something to control in this band. I'm losing my mind. So I took over the merch, and literally I didn't hit the dressing room pretty much for the last 10 years I was in the band after the show. I was at the merch table until every last person was gone. And that shift happened probably about 15 years ago, when I realized this is not a given. People coming to your shows is not a given. They're a lot of them are broke, and spending their last dime coming to a show because of some memory or whatever. You owe them that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, but you do, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Do.
Yep.
You do owe them a hello, whether they buy something or not. And I mean, it's way nicer when they buy something and you sign that. Then they bring their own merch. Can you sign these 12 records?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. The answer is yes.
How much do I get off? 10% off eBay for those, but whatever. And learning how to appreciate what others are giving to your career is, I think, a really big turning point. Not that I didn't always, but back in the original band, I knew that I couldn't talk after the show. I knew I had to go to my room, and while everybody else was going to the bar partying, I had to be in my room sleeping, because if I didn't perform the next night, I got reprimanded. You just didn't do that, right? I mean, the original Headpins was boot camp, and I don't regret it, but it was boot camp. I don't want to
poo-poo on it now, Darby, but I mean, I read a lot, and I understand a lot. You and I talked a little bit last night, but to me, and it's not even to me, I remember clearly our radio station down here introducing songs as Darby Mills and the Headpins. You're playing as Darby Mills, and like, it wasn't. I don't picture you as being a hired gun. It was your friggin' band. Like, I feel bad that you kind of got that bum's rush, because I mean, you made the band. I'm sorry, but you did.
Well, thank you. And there are alternative opinions, and I'm learning to not concern myself about it.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
looking forward. You can't drive forward if you're looking in the rearview mirror. So it's like, okay, all I can do is my best. And in the last couple of years, it's more, was I happy with my show? Did I do all I can do? Yes. Then get over it. As I have this tattoo, letting go.
Yes.
It's not worth worrying. It's not worth getting any more gray hair over something that you can't change, you know, and it's hard to stay there, but I think it is key to having a happier life is learning how to, roll with the punches a little bit more, try not to take things so personally, and, but have a good sense of yourself. That's key as well.
So when, one of the things we were talking about there a while back, and I want to ask you, so I noticed when we're talking and you're every so often you do a little mini scream, you can still hear the Darby, you know, gravelly voice there, but, you know, going out and partying and doing all that, obviously for a singer, it's tough because, you know, no singer, no show. Nobody wants to hear instrumentals if they're coming to hear, you know, a band play with a singer. So, you know, what do you have to do on a regular basis? And one of the things that you said was maybe trying to reinvent yourself a little bit with how you sing, but how do you keep that voice the way it is? Because I mean, like the guy in Nazareth, you hear him, there's one way he can sing, right?
Yes. Yeah. Dan. Yeah. And you know what, at the end there, that's when we were touring so much with them every year for, I think 7 years in a row, we would come and do at least 4 or 5 shows a summer with them. And his last tour, he was suffering from COPD. He had an oxygen tank in the back, and he would have to go puff on it after, you know, every second or third song. And I remember as we were leaving, the last show we did with him was in Victoria, and I just went up to him the next morning as we were all separating, going our own ways. I says, you know what, Dan, you got balls of steel. I see what you're going through, and you're still up there, and he's not moving, but he's still giving. It was more like this. There was not a lot of air anymore, but he was still scratchy, and it was still Dan's voice. And you know, you know, love you, man, kudos. And the next tour when they came back, or no, pardon me, it was like 2 nights later, they went to Vancouver and they played somewhere in Vancouver, and he literally collapsed on stage, I believe, and the newspaper said, you know, McCafferty's so drunk he couldn't stand up. And it was just like, oh man, you know, the guy's given everything he's got. Not that partying wasn't the reason why he's got COPD, because those boys went hard, and they played 280 shows a year all their lives. They worked all the time. I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, what you see isn't always what's real. And but yeah, Dan and his voice, I feel so bad about it, but yeah. What was your question?
Well, my question is, so I mean, like you have I'm not going to say a female version of that voice, but I mean, you're one of those high register singers. I mean, like, you know, I would say that, you know, I'm not going to do the whole how many octaves you have, but I mean, you're up there. I mean, that seems to be where your comfort level is. So what does it take for you to be able to maintain that? Because from what I heard when I watched that documentary, you know, you weren't taking any nights off or any, you know, you weren't mailing it in. You were still bringing it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't mail it. Like I was saying earlier, you can't mail in the style of vocalist I am if that's the style you're still trying to do. You just can't. It just takes too much energy. The amount of air that I push is what makes me that label of a singer, and that comes from being an athlete. I was a figure skater before I was a singer, so I was always an entertainer. I knew I was going to be an entertainer of some sort from 3 years old, I'm pretty sure. But I take in so much air and I push so hard that I can usually sing through the bad nights, because when it's swollen and you still just hammer it with a sledgehammer, you get through. So that's kind of what's saved my voice all these years, but that's still, to me right now, at my age, I just don't know how many more years I'll have that kind of power from down below to exert that much air to blow through swollen, old, nodule-filled vocal cords that are like, are you kidding me?
They're like, dear Darby, give us a fucking break. Send.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. Well, and then what makes it worse is like going down for a year or a year and a half or 2 years. It's like these Olympic athletes right now that are training for nothing.
Yeah.
It's hard to train for nothing. It's hard to sit in the basement and sing for nothing. Getting back up to a level that even Dan was at as incapacitated, sorry.
Incapacitated?
Incapable, no.
Incapacitated.
Incapacitated as he was, because he did it every night for so many nights, he still had that much to give, right? Had he stopped for 2 months or even 3 weeks and come back, would he still have been able to do that? I don't know, right? So this time here does kind of scare me. I'd love to get and rehearse with that local band I was telling you about, but they're like, nope, don't want to do that. So it's like, hopefully we figure this thing out and we can, COVID is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence for what side I'm on. I'm on both sides of that issue. I believe we need to wear masks if we go out in public. And if everybody was wearing them, we'd be able to flatten that curve out enough that we wouldn't be losing the people that the states are losing. I don't want to see this second resurgence come back and shut us down for another 6 months. If we can be careful right now and have it open by September to almost a full degree, that means next year there'll be concerts.
Yeah.
You know, if not, there's not going to be any concerts next year. It's going to be 2 years. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm willing to pay that price, wear my mask, wear my gloves, disinfect. I try to use soap more than disinfectant because I think there's a problem with over disinfecting things. Sorry, point again. I know I kind of took a left-hand turn on you there.
This is how we roll, hon. This is how we roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but that's what it was. But I also understand how we do need to. I not wanting to put people, old people or young people, at risk.
Yeah.
But we do need to understand that we can't exist locked in our houses.
No.
I don't believe we can. We are social beings, and the internet is a wonderful thing, but we can get out, we can get things moving again if we're all responsible and understand we're not taking your right to go to the beach away from you. We're asking that you care enough about everyone else so that everyone else can get back to work too, not just you and your rights to be able to go to the beach. It's like, really, that's all we're asking right now? They're not asking us to pick up a gun and go to war over this yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean, the running joke in my band is 2021's looking pretty good. I mean, that's
I know, right?
You know what I mean? Like, so
I know. I had also been asked to direct a play in December of this year. I've been part of the Vernon Glee Club, for the last 6 years. And a young lady that decided to take it over from the founder this year, for some reason, in January, declined. And they were like, they bought the rights to the musical, and everything was kind of in motion. And Bob suggested, why don't you ask Darby if she'll take over? Because I've never done anything like this in my life. And they came to me. I'm sorry, that's my dog bitching.
Get your dog. Let's see your dog.
This is Darby. He's our house elf, and he's so spoiled, and he's bitching that he's not sitting on my lap. But so,
what's his name?
A Yorkie. Is that what you asked? What kind of dog? Yeah, he's a silky Yorkie.
No, what's his name?
Dobie, our house elf.
Nice.
Yes, he's our house elf, named after the Harry Potter character, whose actual name is Darby. But anyway, so yeah, the offer came to me, and there was a little bit of money involved, but it was I'd been there, like I said, for 6 years, being a guest singer, doing a couple songs a night, and I went, you know what? With this reinvention, it's time. It's time to grow up and say, okay, this is outside my comfort zone, but how do you grow if you don't step outside your comfort zone?
This is it.
So I said, okay, I'll take it on, but here's the deal. It will be a concert with performances during it was Elton John, during the Elton John story, right? And they were all very excited. I said, I'm going to bring rock and roll lights into it. I'm going to bring, some whatever. And it, of course, has been canceled now too. So this year that was so packed full of exciting and new adventures and digging deep and is now I'm gardening. I have garden and drinking while I talk on the phone. Yeah.
Oh my God. I had pretty high hopes for 2020 as well. I mean, the last 3 years it's sucked ass for me. So it's like, you know what, 2020 is gonna be my year. It's like really.
Right?
Nova Scotia's getting hit pretty hard this year. It's been pretty crappy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys, not just this year, for many years, you guys have been getting the short end. And let's just hope that while we were off, I had mentioned my favorite saying or quote for this COVID era, which was Mother Nature has set the reset button.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so poignant to me. Yes, she has. She is the boss. And it's time to figure out where you stand, what's important, and you got to turn the corner and figure out what direction you're going in and pick out it's okay. It's okay. It just means, getting your shit together. That's what it means.
That's all you can do.
Well, Darby, it sounds to me like you've got your shit together. Like, we've got this little break or this little distraction, whatever you want to call it. But I'm kind of excited to where Darby Mills is going next, because I've been paying attention. And you know what? Your husband, as Sean had said earlier, what a great partner. Like, so what a great teammate. And, I watched that interview for the 22 minutes, but you can see it in his eyes. He has so much faith in you. And that's awesome to have that kind of belief in your partner. It's inspiring. Really, it is, truly.
Yeah. And we did not have a loving filled life from start to finish. I believe I'm lucky that I fell in love with someone in the industry that wasn't worried about my popularity or his. That was a wonderful thing. And as I say in the documentary, he gave up his plans and his dreams as being a manager and whatever. He managed Patricia Conroy, One Horse Blue. He did all kinds of things. He got me 2 record deals. He got, I think in total 6 or 7 bands signed to labels such as Virgin Records.
Wow.
I mean, he'd been there, done that. He was Bruce Allen's right-hand man, right under Sam Feldman. And then when Bruce and Sam split, he became Sam's right-hand man and brought, from what I understand, he's who brought the headpins to Sam Feldman. So he was there for the whole thing. He saw what went down. He knows exactly the situation, and he's far more calm than I, to the point where I can pull my hair out because he's so calm. But sometimes that's a calming influence. And yeah, he took the ride for me, or he let me take the ride as he stayed home with our babies. Even though it's not like I was gone for a year. I'd be gone for 2 weeks and home for 2 weeks and gone for 2 weeks. But
That's right.
we made the choice not to have a babysitter raise our children, and he stepped up and he was Mr. Mom while we went through those crazy 36 years. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, yeah, our kids are 21 and 26 at this point. But yeah, I'm so lucky. I really am so lucky, and I'm grateful to the universe that it's letting me see how lucky I am, and that gives me the inspiration to just keep trying, because I could have given up and had nothing to show for it. And somehow that's not been the course. So, yay.
Well, and I was saying to Dave when I was watching the documentary, he'd be a good guy to go and hit the golf course and have a beer. And while I'm playing balls into the woods, and he's probably cracking them down the fairway. But that's the big thing I got too. Is I said to Dave, I said, as men, we're not creatures of we'll stay in the background. And I didn't realize his background till he explained it. But even still, you're in that game, and I think it might be a little bit hard to just step back. So I mean, wow. Like I said to Dave, I said, what a chill guy when I watched that documentary today. He just seems like a dude that doesn't get too worked up,
Yeah, that's why it was so surprising to have him have a heart attack, right? It was just like, what? You'd figure that would have been me, but he survived, and then the next one, and then the next one. So 3 times he's been knocking at the door. So there isn't another one. We know that. He's had his 3 times. So he gets to golf all
I was going to ask. So
all the time.
What's he typically run for a score when he's out there?
You know what? He played the Vernon Golf Course paid for his entry fee at the seniors golf tournament last summer. He's an amateur and not even trying, but because he volunteers so much at the Vernon Golf Course and was for 4 years, I think, ran the junior program, or was a big part of helping to run the junior program. Vernon hosted the seniors tournament for that year, and they paid for Brian's entry. And the first 3 days he was in 2nd and 3rd place, and the last day he choked and ended up coming in, I think, 6th for all of the seniors that played, I think is the quote. I could be wrong there, but he did very, very well. So what he's hitting from one day to the next depends, like everybody else, on if he's having a good day or not. But I don't know, 76.
Oh, he's okay then.
Yeah.
Even Tiger has a bad day from time to time now, Darby. It's not a big deal.
Right? Now. Yeah.
I saw you on that documentary hitting a few golf balls. Look pretty good there, hon.
You know what? I suck. I royally suck. But it's the Tuesday night ladies golf where we're really out there just to drink and not to play golf and get some fresh air and be the girls and talk. So that's lovely. I have, however, had Brian convince me to go play at the big course instead of the junior course, and so we go out and play at least once a week with me. I get to play at least once a week, although I've been down. I blew my shoulder out in the middle of the night sleeping.
You told me this story.
Yeah, I've been flat on my back for a month. This is the 2nd week that I've actually been.
Tell them how you did it now. Tell them how you did it.
Sleeping. I slept with my arm over my head, and I woke up in the morning and I literally didn't get out of bed for a month. Had to go to the hospital twice during that time because I've given birth to 2 kids, and it wasn't as painful as this freaking injury. And I'm still not back. But so the ladies golf today, Brian golfed today. I'm not back golfing. Hopefully this weekend I get a chance to go and hit the balls. But yeah.
Yeah, well,
he's a pretty good golfer.
76 is pretty darn good on a okay day, let me tell you. For somebody that's like that, maybe on the front 9, and I'm not even joking. It's just I don't spend enough time doing it, but it's good that he's out there playing again because it's you can tell he likes it. So
it makes him tick, and the minute I realized, don't fight it anymore, just let him go. Actually, tell you the truth, it was after his heart attack when I realized, you know what, it's everybody's time is limited. You got to enjoy your life. Go play golf, you bastard.
Some diet, some habits, but it's stress. That's what they're being.
Yeah.
So I get it. Listen, here's the thing that we want to probably get ready to close on, because we've taken up about 2.5 hours of your night so far, darling, and we sure appreciate Darby Mills being on the show tonight, for sure. Yep. Sean and I are either going to get out there and we're going to have a drink with you and your husband, or more importantly, Barstools and Bandtalk would love to have Darby Mills back here in Halifax because that's where she belongs. Because she is one of the ladies who rock the Maritimes big time. So how do we go about doing that now? You need to put a support tour together. So we need to have about 5-6 dates in it to make it worth your while. But you know what? I think we're going to work on that because I would love, as everybody else here would love to see you again.
Well, I'm dying to work, dying to bring the new project out there. We had a whole great new secret ready to reveal this summer, which isn't going to happen, but we actually put a headpin medley together. So I, in fact, pretty much play all the headpin hits in a 15-minute medley, and it's fabulous. I just love it. And now we can't. So we're trying to figure out how, with 4 of us living in different cities, how we can actually get it together. I know there's so much people. I play guitar, I'm gonna do a song for you, which is a wonderful thing, but there's a lot of people playing live stuff on social media right now, and some of it's just not very good. And some of them that aren't very good are actual artists that should be doing good stuff. So I don't want to fall into that category. I want to do a good job, so we're trying to figure out right now how we can, with this COVID thing, do a good job, bring the medley together in case we don't work for another year, at least have something to show and bring some life back to me anyway with the headpin tunes. And when, not to mention, before we go, I am working with a gentleman called Gary Borden. We've put a song together that it's called Free Them. And even though we started writing this long before the world turned into what it is today, it really does strike a chord with the situation that we're all living in today. And we're so excited because we've got Lawrence Gowan playing Hammond organ on it, and we've got the bass player from April Wine. Richard is and I did this before, Lafayette. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's a French name, so it's anyway. Richard is playing bass on it, and we got some wonderful backing vocals on the track, and we were just about ready to release it, and it's like, you know what, now is not the time, in my thinking, that putting it out now, the way social media works now, you get your 2 days, maybe 3 if you're lucky, putting out a new video or a new song, and then it's next. It's whatever else is going on out there. You don't get a month or 3 months on the radio. You don't get radio, period. Anyone in my situation will never be on the radio with anything new again. That's just a given. Sadly enough, but it's just a given. So anything new, that is. So we're holding off, and when we know we'll be back out working, we're going to release it a month and a half prior to getting back out on the road as a new single, and hopefully excite everybody with finally some more new product to excite the public. So
fantastic.
Well, Chelsea is the mother of invention, you know, and it's funny because Sean and I have been talking to a lot of people, especially here in the Maritimes, about how they're going to reinvent themselves, you know, post-COVID, during COVID, whatever the new normal is, and all the other bullshit terms that are going on today. But I mean, in reality, there's probably some platform that will be created through this. And I'm starting to see it now where, now I don't know how real it is, but it looks like folks are playing live. Like they're streaming, but they're kind of putting it together, and maybe that's the way, you know, the new norm is going to be until we can kind of get together in the concert formation. That you have to kind of watch something like that online or in a streaming service, whatever the case may be. But maybe that's something that you can reinvent too. What was the gentleman we talked to, the hip hop artists? They're talking about doing virtual host concerts where they're kind of outside on their sidewalk, and they're playing towards, you know, folks who are paying. So anything goes. I mean, I'm not sure what the new normal will be, right? But
well, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but if you don't start thinking about how to reinvent, if you're waiting for it to get back to what it was, you've missed the boat, because other people will go there and they'll get good at it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, if we were closer, we'd be on it sooner. Unfortunately, like I said, we're in 4 different cities, so everybody has to upgrade their gear. Everybody's got to upgrade their game. I've got stuff on order right now, lighting on order for filming, because it's got to be audio and video.
That's right.
So, but we're trying, and you know what? That's all you can ask of yourself, as long as you're trying. Sitting on your butt waiting for the door to open or the phone to ring, that's just, it's unreasonable. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, dig in, take the wheel and drive.
That's it. And if Darby Mills can continue to do stuff, then Sean and Dave can continue to do stuff, right? I mean, that's well, and you know, just, you know, and we don't want to keep you too long, but I mean, we've been telling people, you know, if you want to go back out and play if and when this ends, and you're not doing something now to get better or improve, you're just going to get run over when you go back out there and do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great.
For sure.
You know, like Sidney Crosby, I know for a fact, is still training, and when he comes back, he will be the best hockey player. Connor McDavid, the same thing. So I mean, you just have to keep feeding the beast, and if you don't, you're in trouble.
Yeah, regardless of whether you're making $1 million a goal or not.
Right.
That was sarcastic, but I wish I was making $1 million a song. That would help me train a lot harder. Just kidding, but not really.
But no, Darby,
do better, yeah.
You and I talked about this a little bit last night. Now, Darby, you have writing credits on those first 3 albums, you had there's no problem for you to perform these Headpins tunes. I mean, you're entitled to write to.
Yeah, anybody can play them. The difference is recording them again. You do have to pay the fee, and that's what I did with the live album. I didn't do it underground or under the table. I went and paid the proper fees. You have to find out, you have to tell them how many copies you're going to press, and then it's prorated, you know, so went about it all the right way. No label. You know what? My husband and I and my project, we're independents. We don't have an agent. We don't really have a label. As I'd mentioned, we've got someone distributing, but they're not our label. They don't ring the doorbell.
Sounds like UPS to me.
Yeah. Well, and there you go. Who'd have figured that every day you'd be waiting for UPS to drop something at your door, right? That's the mail of today is life. That's the blood of the community today, is getting your stuff in the mail. You can't go to the store anymore. Well, changing, but anyway, once again, lost what we were talking about. I'm sorry.
Well, okay. Barstools and Bandtalk here in the Maritimes in Halifax. We want to know how we can help Darby Mills. So, again, darbymills.com is an opportunity where you can see some of your live footage. There's an opportunity to order these CDs online, and you can have them.
CDs and shirts and jewelry. Yeah, it's all there.
Homemade jewelry by Darby Mills, I might add. We need to get you down to Halifax. I'm not sure how we can make that happen, but I guarantee you there's going to be a whole shit ton of attention after this video airs. I'm not sure when we're going to air it yet, but we're going to get you down here, Darby. Or Sean and I are going up there for a beer, for sure, because that's...
All right. Well,
no,
you know what? And
you want to come here, you want us to go there.
Make sure you come when it's not burning or flooding.
Fair enough.
So,
you
or
might as well
snowing.
come here then. you might as well come here.
Absolutely. What I do mention to people on social media, if they're like, when are you ever coming back? It's like, it's not that I don't want to come back. What has to happen is the ticket buyer is the boss. People forget that. They're the ones that buy the tickets, which pay for everything. So if you get together, or you go to the site of the festival or the casino, a club at this point, for what it would cost me to bring the project out there, clubs just can't sell enough tickets for a fair enough price to afford us. And it's not like we cost a lot, but I am no longer, I've paid my dues. I'm no longer going out on the road because somebody says, you know what, it's good publicity. I'm okay. I'm not doing that anymore. Pay me. I got 40 years under my belt. Pay me for the job. I'm not getting rich on this, but pay what we're getting made. or what we make has to pay for the flights, has to pay for the hotel rooms, has to pay for anything else that we need to put on a decent show that people will walk away being satisfied. Everybody wants that to be the outcome. The club, the band, the audience, right? So what I say is, if you'd like to see the project, get on the social media aspect, or get the phone number or the email of the venue around you, the fair, the festival, or the casino. Share our website or our video or the documentary or a song, but get enough people on the case of the buyers to have them go, these people will buy tickets.
Yeah.
This band should be at this venue. Because if that doesn't happen, they're being told by the agent who gets a commission on their roster saying you should have this band or this band or this band. The Darby Mills Project, we're not making a commission off them. No, you need to book one of our bands, right? And it's not that we haven't tried to get on an agency, but agencies are, it's a clique. It's a we're actually on, never mind, I won't even go there. But so we're on a few rosters that it's like, why for? They don't know our name, but whatever. So that's another part of the artist's job these days in the position that we are in. We have to be our own voice box. We have to stand on that soapbox, and we have to preach our wares. And if the audience decides to get behind it, or the ticket buyer gets behind it, that's how you change opinions or make things happen. So.
Wow.
Amen.
This show might in fact do that.
Darby, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Will you come back on the show?
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're going to get a ton of people. They're going to have a ton of questions, and Sean and I won't be able to answer it all for sure. So it's kind of like, I just feel seriously that it's been a great experience talking to you. Like I feel like you're a good friend now. And it's like Sean said earlier, I'm so glad that one of our heroes wasn't an asshole. You know what I mean? And that's the truth, right? But
Awesome.
You have a lot to offer. I'm so excited that the fact that you're able to reinvent yourself, past 40, past 50, into whatever. And
Yes.
I want people to support you for sure. And go to the website and check her out. She's the real deal. She's worth it.
When I have one last thing, good buddy of mine back when I used to play in a band with him, he introduced me to the Headpins. His name's Ian Fancy, huge fan. And if it wasn't for my buddy Ian, I was still listening to Sean Cassidy and stuff, and Ian tuned me up the good stuff. So so anyway, this is, like Dave said, it's just been fantastic. I really appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun. Say hi to that handsome husband of yours, because like I say, he became a hero today for me. I thought he was a great dude. So
yeah, and your kids too.
Will,
like it's I'm just and your little dog too.
yeah, we're a house of crazy people, but thank you guys for taking the time and thinking that I would be an interesting guest, and good luck with your show, and good on you for taking this on, and a wonderful bringing on crew guys like my guy Kevin, because that's a whole part of the industry a lot of people don't know about as well.
Absolutely.
So great to hear those stories, and continued success.
Boy, I hadn't been yelled at by Kevin Ferris in some time.
No, Darby told me he doesn't yell anymore. She said he does not yell anymore.
Not at me. He doesn't yell at me because he knows I'll yell back, right?
Yeah.
So.
And we've heard your voice is pretty loud. Just saying. All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, Darby Mills, thank you so much for being on the show. We're definitely having you back. You already promised. I heard it. We'll touch base tomorrow. We'll get some addresses. I'm sending you some mugs. You're going to send me that live album. I appreciate that. And thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You bet. Send me your address as well.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Darby.
Cheers.
Take care, Darby.
Bye.
Bye.
Barstools, Bandtalk, the complete Mills of music bucket list.